Freedom Secrets podcast.
I think we're up on YouTube,
We're
we're up
up
on
on
Instagram,
Instagram
and
and
we're
we're
live on
live
Facebook.
on Facebook. Very good. Good day. My name is Coach Tensi, and I'm here with my
Coach
husband.
Soul, what it do?
And welcome to the Holistic Freedom Secrets podcast. This is episode 7, and since it's Tuesday, this is Cleanse Day. So what that means is every Tuesday we dive into an aspect of cleansing, how to cleanse the body, how to detoxify, how to purify, all the whatever, all the things to help
Absolutely.
us in our holistic health journey.
Just a short recap. Every week, our podcast structure goes through our 5-pronged healing system, so we can give you tips, tricks, secrets, freedom secrets, if you will, for be, cleanse, fuel, move, and shine on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yeah. So that's what we got going. For YouTube, can we bring the video down a little bit? Just a little work. Got it. Okay, so today's topic is clearing the fog. And specifically, we're talking through herbs that can help with brain health, herbs and supplements that can assist with brain health. So, something that I experience, and if you've ever, for all the working moms out there, or for anyone that has been a mama, you've probably experienced like that brain fog postpartum, or even if you're not a mom, but maybe you're going through menopause. Brain fog is one of those symptoms that we experience, and for those that have chronic conditions with any sort of autoimmune condition, an example might be MS, you may be experiencing severe brain fog. And so this is something that we associate with fatigue, with confusion, with symptoms of forgetfulness or lapses of memory sometimes at its extremity, lack of focus. That's been a big word that's been coming up with my coaching clients lately, focus. And so that's why we're diving into brain fog itself and some ways that we can combat it, some ways that we can mitigate it.
Now, I do want to add a little bit. If you are under a lot of stress all the time, whether you're male or female, you also might and are likely experiencing brain fog on different degrees of intensity. And also, if you smoke weed a whole lot, like a lot, you also are probably experiencing brain fog without any like pain that comes with it. You probably experience brain fog, and you potheads out there, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. I was one of y'all.
Yeah. So, and some other things that can contribute to brain fog and be one of the things that may be causing it. It could be your nutrition. So it could be poor diet, those inflammatory oils like we talked about, and the processed foods, those chemicals, additives.
Canola oil, sunflower, safflower oil.
And the list goes on. Those are really, our cells don't like them. So check back out our first fuel episode. I think it was episode 3 of the podcast, and that'll give you a quick little rundown of some of those. But lack of sleep. So if you're experiencing symptoms of insomnia or something of the like, where you're waking up at odd hours in the night, I would definitely invite you to check in to see, hey, is this related? Do I have symptoms of brain fog or fatigue or something like that? And then, of course, there's also hormonal imbalances.
Yep.
And this is because, to get real geeky real quick, real fast, when it comes to our hormones, there is this thing called a hormonal hierarchy. And this is something that I learned from Dr. Mindy Pelz. And she's a functional medicine doctor. And she's
definitely phenomenal. Check out Mindy Pelz.
Check out her work for real. But she talks about the hormonal hierarchy. This is just some stuff dealing with the hormonal system, the endocrine system within the body. And it's just saying that every hormone kind of one regulates the other, and it's this cascading effect, kind of like think of it like a waterfall or water pouring through several different stages. And in order to regulate the hormones, you got to make sure that the things up above are balanced already. And so at the very top is oxytocin. And oxytocin is that love, that bonding hormone. And when it comes to oxytocin, when we feel meaningful connection, that comes right back into balance. So that's at the very top, and that regulates everything underneath. And the sex hormones are underneath. So here's the hierarchy: oxytocin, love and bonding, kind of like that get together, that I feel connected. And then right below is cortisol, which is kind of like the stress hormone. And so when we feel in chronic stress, like when everything with work is going crazy, when
or regular stress.
yeah, like daily life stress.
When you're having
when
a
something,
stress response, not to cut you off, when you're having a
Mhm.
stress response, that's cortisol. So we got
Yeah.
oxytocin, cortisol.
And then insulin is right next, right up under that. So that's like your blood sugar. So when glucose, when you have so much carbs that they break down into sugar super fast and they keep spiking up and up and up your blood sugar, that dysregulates your sex hormones, which is right at the bottom, right up under insulin. And so that's your testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen. And with the sex hormones, for men, it's a little more simple. Their main one is testosterone, although they do have the other two as well. They're just in greater, smaller quantities.
Yeah.
And it's flipped for us, for women. So when it comes to this hierarchy, we just have to keep in mind that if we want to bring balance into our hormones, then we need to make sure that we are feeding ourselves the things that are going to be helpful for that. And one of the things that balances all of these hormones down the chain of that hierarchy is cleansing, fasting. So that's why today we're diving into some of the things, some of the hacks that will be able to help with brain fog. And one of those things happens to be outside of herbs and supplements is simply fasting. And for women, it's a very specific way. You got to time it to your monthly cycle. I want to encourage you to check out the book by Dr. Mindy Pelz called Fast Like a Girl. And that's going to help you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And while you're on your fast, let's say it's not a full dry fast or some sort of extreme, water only fast. You may have a fast where it's an herb fast. So you're drinking teas and you're not eating much food, but you're drinking tea throughout the day. And maybe you eat food, after 7 p.m. every day or something like that. Well, some herbs that you want to include in your tea may start out with ginkgo biloba.
Yeah.
Ginkgo biloba, the brain help herb.
And with herbs, like they are very particular, these herbs.
Yeah, ginkgo biloba helps improve some blood flow to the brain, which enhances your cognitive function. I think it also enhances your recall, your memory, your ability to tap into your memory, both long term and short term. Ginkgo biloba is something that the more eldest generations in my family used to joke about. When you can't remember something, they say, "Oh, you need some ginkgo biloba." I remember growing up. So ginkgo biloba is definitely something that you might want to include in your tea fast as you're, fasting to re-regulate that hormonal balance.
One thing to note about herbs is they all need to be taken in a certain form in order for them to be really taken into your body and used how they need to be as quickly as they need to be. And they take longer time than medications. So you really need to work with an herbalist and your doctor if you're seeing a practitioner in order to find that perfect balance for you. But generally speaking, take your herbs at least an hour before or at least an hour after you take any sort of medication to make sure that those interactions aren't really gonna, be something that is potentially harmful to you. So the herbs don't have side effects, but your medications do. So we have to be really mindful of playing with herbs around when you're using medications. One of the second herbs that I would really recommend, and we've used in my family for years, is called blue vervain. It's also, I mean, there's vervain and there's blue vervain. They are similar. They're a little different, but for the most part, the benefits are the same. And this is great for the nervous system. And there's two main parts of that nervous system. One is that spine, that spinal cord with all those nerves coming up off of it. And if you remember biology from high school, then you remember your brain is the other part. So vervain, some of the big benefits is that it has anti-tumor effects. So it also helps protect your nerve cells. So those brain cells, if you're experiencing brain fog, that's meaning that there's some sort of deterioration happening on a cellular level in your brain.
You wanna take blue vervain, help get those synapses firing again.
And it also helps with if you experience like convulsions or anxiety. It has an antimicrobial effect, and it's also anti-inflammatory. So when it comes to brain health, even heart health, feeling that homeostasis when it comes to your mental health, blue vervain is that powerhouse, and you want to have at least three powerhouse herbs in your arsenal at any given time. So
yep. So three. So speaking of three, let's name one more herb and then move on to some supplements.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about for the third herb, let's talk about rosemary.
Rosemary is something almost everybody has in their house in form of seasoning, dry rosemary.
Yeah.
But you can also grow it quite easily, I believe, right? On your patio or in a small garden. And rosemary is good for a few different things. One of them being concentration and memory retention. So again, with that memory, brain fog directly negatively impacts your recall. So concentration and memory, put some rosemary on your chicken. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, for these herbs, like get them in at least a tincture. So that would be the liquid form of the herb, so that they can really be absorbed into the body easily. And with herbs, you want to hold it under your tongue for at least 20 seconds.
Yep.
Just so that your body gets primed up and it can go and be assimilated into your blood and your circulatory system. So that's a brief crash course on some of these herbs. And of course, you can also have them in teas, but you're going to have a lot of tea throughout the day in order to really get the benefits. And it's an experimentation that takes place.
Yeah, and there's more to add, and we'll revisit this topic in a future episode for sure.
Okay, so let's move on to supplements that are supportive for brain fog. And a lot of these that can be found in foods that you already eat, maybe, or foods that you can find in the grocery store. And actually, if it is in a food, then that's actually the best form of supplementation, is eating the whole food itself. But sometimes when your body's in like a crisis and it just needs an extra boost, that's when you might dive into exploring like a liquid supplement for some of these things.
Yeah, or a gel supplement, something like that, or a powder.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the first one we want to mention is omega-3 fatty acids. Your omega-3s, they are not hard to find, and they help in supporting brain structure and brain function. So different cognitive functions, your ability to tap into the tasks that you need to do and have a level of focus, brain function, as well as brain structure is what omega-3s help with. And if you want to get rid of brain fog, you definitely want to increase your ability to tap into these healing modalities in omega-3s.
Yeah. So with omega-3s, just off the top of my head, hemp seeds have a large amount of omega-3s and so you can get hemp seed oil if you really want to explore that. I know a lot of people also get omega-3s and such, and the similar things that are helpful, like DHEA, DHA, from if you're vegan or vegetarian, it's algae oil, and you're gonna want to get like the good source,
The
so that it's
quality.
not contaminated.
Yeah, the quality
with
matters.
mercury or something like that, or lead in the water. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. The next supplement that you want to add, you want to make sure that you get, is the easiest to get. It's the easiest to find all around the world. It's called vitamin D.
yeah,
Vitamin D. And you get that, most people get that by taking a walk outside. Maybe roll your sleeves up a little bit. It is the summertime when we're recording this here in the United States. And roll your sleeves up, and you go outside and you absorb some sun. Maybe you go tanning, maybe you go to the beach, maybe you go for a run, but you go outside and you feel the sun on your skin.
yeah.
You absorb some vitamin D.
And with vitamin D, it's one of those things that the darker pigmentation of your skin, you're gonna need a little bit more. And when you go outside, just get you some natural sunscreen, like shea butter, something that doesn't have any chemicals in
Not
it.
shea butter.
Whole body butter is what we use. Shameless plug with our scratched up label, because we be using it all the time and it be going through them changes. Okay. But it is phenomenal for allowing for your skin to absorb the goodness of the sun without being damaged by the sun.
And without being damaged by chemicals that they add to sunscreens. They just did a report on I forget the news station. We don't watch the news, so I'll see it on the internet. But they just did a report talking about all the harmful ways that sunscreen has been harming human beings, especially sold in the United States, since our FDA and these regulatory industry entities allow any type of chemical in our products on our shelves. But basically, how many people have been harmed and gotten skin cancers and gotten all of these ailments from using sunscreens and sunblocks, which they consider two different things, but they put the same chemicals in both. But either way, sunscreens and sunblocks, it was just reported, it's very new, you can look it up. You want to find a natural one, like the one that we make here, right here at the crib. To find our whole body butter, you just go to fuluchild.com/body butter. fuluchild.com/body butter, and you can get you some whole body butter at a very reasonable price, and then go absorb some vitamin D.
Yeah. Some other sources of vitamin D real quick. You can also get it in alfalfa. So alfalfa oil might be something to explore in terms of a supplement. And wild mushrooms.
For surely. So that's all the supplements that we're going to talk about in this episode. But some lifestyle tips that will help combat brain fog are a balanced diet, regular exercise, adequate sleep, and stress management. Stress management, we talked about resilience yesterday, saying no to yourself, not allowing yourself to go into stress. Adequate sleep, just making sure you plan your day accordingly. Regular exercise, sweat and breathe hard for 10 minutes. That's all we're asking. Sweat and breathe hard for 10 minutes. You got 10 minutes, you got sweat, and you got your breath. That's it. Focus on things,
And for women, we talked about cycling that.
Oh, yeah. Sync that with your cycle.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then a balance.
At least sweat.
At least.
A little bit.
Whether it's yoga, a long walk out in the sun, in the summer or whatever. Any type of sweat and breathe hard, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Doesn't have to be a full hour. Here we go. And then balanced diet. Balanced diet. Eat your colors. Eat at the right times of day. Fast between eating. Don't snack every 2 hours. And it's all good.
So that's basically the Freedom 5. The 5 daily habits that we touch on every day of the week, of the work week.
Mm-hmm.
So Monday, be. Tuesday, cleanse. Wednesday, fuel. Thursday is move, and then shine is on Friday. So these daily habits that we're talking about every day of this podcast, that is basically the tips, the lifestyle tips for combating brain fog. So that's amazing.
Absolutely.
Very cool. So with that being said, here's a little daily routine hack that can be done. And so one of the easiest ways to incorporate supplements and herbs in your daily routine is simply to make it a part of your morning and your evening routine. So
Put
your
it in a
morning,
cup.
yeah. So your morning routine, first thing you do after you drink you some water, okay, is prepare some tea for yourself. Okay, so fill up your big old water vessel. I just tapped it over here. We gonna refill it as soon as we can. Okay, and then we prepare our tea and drink the tea. With tea, it needs time to steep. So if you a 1 minute steep type person, that's not it for here. Okay, at 10 minutes, 10 minutes is the timing for most teas, and some even 15. But you don't want to,
Steep it forever.
yeah. so those are some things to keep in mind. Remember, when you're having these teas that or supplements an hour before any medications, if you can do it at least 10 minutes before your meals, that'd be good, so that it can assimilate in your body. Hold it under your tongue. Those are the things. And then you can make it a part of your wind down. Have some tea, chamomile tea, help you go to sleep, or some of these teas that we discussed today, or some of these tinctures we discussed today, before you go to bed as well. So meal times could be easily cue right before or right after a meal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is pretty much what we have for you today. I want to thank you so very much for tuning in to today's episode. And I'm just getting topic for tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are going to talk about fuel, right? Tuesday is cleanse, Wednesday is fuel day. And we're going to get into some more nutrient dense meals and snacks. Nutrient dense meals and snacks, so that you can go throughout your day, go throughout your meal plan, and get your nutrients from your food, so that you don't have to use so many different supplements and things like that. And on the supplements, I did just want to add, when I said put it in a cup, that was both a teacup and a smoothie cup. So you can incorporate a smoothie into your breakfast.
Yeah,
Drink it 10 minutes before you eat solids, and basically, if you have powder supplement, or you break a gel supplement into, just put it in your smoothie. Make sure it tastes good, and there you go.
So with that being said, let us know in the comments what tip for brain fog really spoke to you. What's something that you can see yourself integrating into your life, whether it was a supplement or a particular herb that we mentioned, or something like exercise, or some of the other tips that we gave. Let me know in the comments, and we'd love to see it.
Yeah.
And engage with you. We're building a little community here, so that'd be great to experience your answer and all that.
All right, YouTube. All right, Instagram, Facebook land. Y'all have a great one.
See you tomorrow for fuel.